Hello, and welcome back to the Witchy Ways YouTube series. So today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about altars and shrines, and I'm going to show you a couple of the altars and shrines that I have here around my home. Now, altars are used as a focal point, and they're also used as a working space within hedge witchcraft. And what I mean by a focal point is that they're a place that you can return to again and again in your work, in meditation, in communing with the gods, the ancestors, spirits of place, spirits of nature, whatever the working is that you want to do. If you keep coming back to a place again and again, an energy can build up over time. And so having an altar as a focal point is a great boon to your work. The altar can be any shape, any size, as long as it works for you, really. Traditionally, altars are said to be placed in the north part of your circle, if you're working in a circle. Don't worry, we'll cover circle casting in later videos. Other traditions say the altar always faces the east. Here in my meditation indoor workroom, my altar faces west because that is the best place for the altar, and I haven't had any detriment to my working simply by having the altar facing to the north. Previously, in other houses, I could always have my altar facing north, and indeed that is my own personal preference. But I can't always have what I want, so it works. As long as it works, go with it. So this is my altar. This is the main altar that I work with in my witchcraft practice. It's where I do daily meditation. It's also where I do spell work. If I'm not working outside, I'll work in here. And it's also a place where I can commune with deity. I find perhaps the easiest place for me to commune with deity. I've been working with this altar in this space since we moved here 10 years ago now. So I feel like this space has built up an energy over the decade that I've worked with it. Right now it's decorated for Ostara. Ostara was the festival that we just had last week, the spring equinox. And so I've got yellow candles here to represent all the yellow flowers that are out in abundance right now, as well as some yellow and purple flowers just to represent what's happening outside in nature, and have that on my altar to remind myself of what's happening outside, inside. The altar can often be seen as a microcosm of the macrocosm, so you're bringing the entirety of your own space, your own world, your own environment here within, and having symbols, tools, and representations of the macrocosm here within your altar. I'm going to talk about altar tools and stuff differently, separately in a different video, so today we're just going to focus on altars and shrines. As I said, I use my altar sometimes as a workspace, so it's a place where I do spellcraft as well as meditation. At the moment it's decorated for my meditation practice, and if I was doing spellcraft, all I would have to do is kind of remove all this extraneous stuff like the stones and crystals that are currently decorating my altar, just move it off to the side, and then I can do the bulk of my spellcraft here on my pentacle in the middle of the altar and have my ingredients and everything put around within easy grasp. I'll be doing a future video about spellcraft as well, where you can see me actually doing a spell, and I'll probably do it here on this altar simply for ease with filming. So this is a little shrine that I have in my hallway here in my home, and I like this positioning of the shrine because it kind of sits in the belly of the house. It's within the center of the building itself, surrounded by all the other rooms around it. Now, a shrine is different from an altar in that you wouldn't necessarily do the work that you would do at an altar at a shrine. So, for example, spellcraft I would do at my altar, whereas I would use a shrine more for communicating with the deities or simply taking a moment out of my day to reconnect with the energy that is resident within the shrine or the energy that I had built the shrine for. So this shrine is dedicated to the heart of the home. It is here to welcome everyone who comes to visit me, and the deity that resides here on the shrine is the goddess Bridget, and you can see the fire and water that are representative of her energies. So we have the welcoming fire, the heart, the flame of inspiration, and we have the healing energies and renewal energies of water as well. Also, there's a Himalayan salt candle holder, and normally when people are visiting I would have a little tea light burning in here. And again, the shrine is decorated with flowers and with a crystal that has associations with welcoming and also with peace and good relationships. Here in my living room I have another little shrine which I light a candle at every morning in honor of the goddess and the god, and I also give an offering of incense every morning, and I just take a couple of minutes just to commune with the goddess and god here on this little space. It's got a special tea light lantern so I can burn the candle all day and just leave it without having to worry about it. If it ever gets knocked over for whatever reason, it will immediately go out. So this is just my little space where I go to every morning as a kind of devotional act. So let's now go outside and see the outside altar and the outside shrine. Laundry day. Let's hope it doesn't rain. So this is my outdoor altar here on my little back patio. And this is where I hold my full moon rituals and any sabbats and esbats when it's not, raining sideways. It's a beautiful space to work in. And we have the goddess Gaia here on the altar at the moment, looking out at all the flowers that are coming out in the garden. Spring is definitely springing here in the UK. So my outdoor altar here is another working altar. So it's big enough that I can use all of my tools on it. I can do workings and spellcraft on it. And it's positioned as I'd like it to be. So it's positioned facing south so that I can stand in the north. And depending on where I'm standing, so at the moment here I am facing east, I can watch the moon rise over the hedge. And if I'm working at sunset, I can stand here in the west and watch the sunset over the palm tree of the neighbor's house. But mostly here I stand in the north, looking out over my south-facing garden. And again, most of the work I do is at dusk or in the evening, and so plenty of owls hooting in the trees down there.
Badgers, pheasants, all sorts of creatures and critters usually come and visit as well. So this is my outdoor altar, which at the moment is standing bare, of course, because I wouldn't leave my tools out over here, especially in UK weather. And we have Gaia overlooking my space with a little rose quartz crystal to show my love for Gaia. That crystal was a gift from a lovely lady and a very dear friend of mine. So let's now go and visit the shrine down at the bottom of the garden. So here I have a little shrine that my husband made with some findings that we got from an antique center not too far away. And it also has a little stone circle, what I call my mini-lithic stone circle as opposed to a megalithic stone circle. And this is a great place to do outdoor meditation, and it's also a shrine to the spirits of place as well as to the fair folk. And in the summertime it's a wonderful shady spot in the garden because it sits right beneath this very majestic beech tree. So within the stone circle I have a wonderful place that's kind of a place that is not a place, in a time that is not a time, in a world that is not a world. So it's a great place to meditate, and it's also a place where I leave offerings after ritual. So often I perform ritual up at the top on my altar on the patio, just up there. And then I will come and leave an offering down here in this very special space. At the times of Samhain and Beltane especially, the extra little part of the shrine here in the back is something pretty special. There's a mirror right there on the back. Hello. And often when you look through that mirror at the time of Samhain and Beltane, you can see through to the other side, through to the other world. And so this is very much a shrine dedicated to the fair folk, to the fairies, as well as to the spirits of place. I leave offerings here on this little shrine altar here. It's basically just two stones, one on top of the other, and it's guarded by the very first deity that I ever began working with, which is Morrigan. So this is my other little outdoor space. Again, very well suited for meditation, as well as the place where I leave all of my offerings. So if I'm working inside, I will come out here afterwards and usually leave a food and a drink offering here. On the rare occasion when I feel that leaving an offering in this space perhaps isn't ideal, let's say if I have an offering that I feel needs water, I will come over and place an offering here in the pond that my husband and I painstakingly dug when we moved in here. The Celts often used water as a place to deposit offerings, and so any offering that I feel would require the power of water, I leave here. Hey, big guy. Yeah, he's my big boy. Usually it's items of jewelry or perhaps a crystal or something that I would leave as an offering here at the pond, and it's usually food and drink that I leave over there at my outdoor shrine. So this is a portable altar that I have that I got from a shop in Ipswich called Sacred Earth. It's got lovely stitching on the outside and the inside. There's the triple goddess on the outside, and we'll open it up and have a look at the inside of it as well. So it's really good in that it bundles together into a very small but very portable altar that I can take with me everywhere, and have actually in fact taken with me on plane journeys across to Canada and everywhere else. It's got these wonderful little compartments here that store all the different little tools, the portable tools. So here we have a bowl, which is for holding the water in ritual. Up here we have a mini censer that will hold sticks of incense. And here we also have a small pentacle dish. I also have images of the goddess and god, which I made just out of clay. And then tucked away in here is the other tools, as well as the altar cloth. So I have a candle as well, just to represent the 4 elements. So we've got earth, air, fire, and water. I'll go through that later once I've got all the tools out. I'll show you where they go. This candle did not come with the set. This is a candle from the Dalit community in India, and they create these beautiful little candles in these terracotta holders, and I found this was better suited to my portable altar than the candle holder that came with it. It came with a candle holder that was similar to the incense holder, just with a bigger circle here that would hold a birthday candle, for a candle for a birthday cake. But I thought I preferred this one as well, and it won't blow out as easily if there's a slight breeze, because it is recessed into this little clay pot. I also have some incense. You can get mini incense sticks, or you can just buy normal incense sticks and simply cut them in half. And that's what I did with these. This is just very basic Nag Champa incense sticks, which I just cut in half, and then they'll fit into the little holders. And of course, always a lighter, because if I'm doing a ritual outside, it's much easier to light things with a lighter than with matches. My preference, of course, would always be matches, but I do have a lighter on me at all times. I'm looking to get a Zippo at one point as well, so hopefully Christmas list. So the actual pouch section of this portable altar unfolds into a beautiful altar cloth. And it takes a tiny bit of faffing to get it open all the way, because it is on a drawstring system here. And you can see I'm slowly working out the drawstring, and there we go. We have a portable altar, which can be laid flat on the ground, on pretty much any surface, table, whatever you would choose to do your working on. So I've taken this with me absolutely everywhere. It fits in my little handbag, and it's lovely. So I would place my symbol for fire in the south, which is my little candle. I have my pentacle here. Don't know if you can actually see the star inside. These are all made out of clay, glazed clay. Pentacle representing earth in the north. My little incense censer representing east. And so I would just stick that, representing air, going in the east. And then I have a little bowl, which I would fill with water from wherever I was, going in the west. And then I'd have my representations of the goddess and god on the altar as well. You can see actually the pattern on the altar is a Bridget's cross, and Bridget is a goddess that I've worked with for many, many years. So I'm very comfortable with her imagery. The shop that I got this from, Sacred Earth, do many other different styles of this altar cloth with different kind of embroidery on the inside, and you can also get them made to order, so do look them up, Sacred Earth in Ipswich. And so this is my portable altar. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video about the altars and the shrines that I work with here in my home. There are also other places that I work with out in the wilder parts, and I'll show a short video clip of that at the very end of this as well, of some of the places where I work at on the heathland and in the forest as well. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for some more videos. This is what is at my feet when I'm videoing. Yo, sees my Bobo fat. Yo. And I'm a sleepy girl too. Oh, she's so tired.